Well, the baseball winter meetings are now officially underway here in National Harbor, Maryland. Steve Melewski and Roch Kubatko hunkered down for a nice stay here and covering all that's going on. And Roch, you already reported this morning that the Orioles have some interest in Michael Saunders. There's another corner outfielder to ponder here.
I'm just starting rumors. That's not what this is all about. Now you get to chase it. It's a package deal. Teamwork. No, clearly they're looking for a right fielder, and Dan Duquette repeated that yesterday. It seems like right field and veteran catcher are the primary focus along with the Rule 5 draft. So you're going to hear a lot of names floated out there, and Saunders is one that they definitely confirmed interest in. And he makes sense in some ways. He can play all three outfield spots, was mostly left field last year. Left-handed hitter, destroys the Orioles, as we know, and hits really well at Camden Yards. But, of course, on the flip side, he didn't grade out very well defensively and left. Now, he would be playing right, but I don't know how big of an upgrade he would be defensively there. If you could do a split contract, it'd be great with Michael Saunders. Not majors versus minors, but first half versus second half. He had the great first half, then tailed off, hit below 200 in the second half. Had injury issues in the past, but he was healthy this past season. Not a big on-base guy career-wise, which is what they're looking for, is to improve their on-base percentage, but he did have better numbers this year. So hardly a sure thing at all, but it's somebody that they're definitely looking at.
And interestingly enough, Major League Baseball trade rumors did predict that the Orioles would sign Michael Saunders to a 3-year, $33 million deal, which interestingly enough is the same deal or similar that Dexter Fowler was offered last year. He's going to do a little better this year.
Let's hope that's the only similarity between the two.
And you know, it doesn't sound like Dexter Fowler and the Orioles we're going to hear about this week.
No, I mean, the bridges weren't burned. I found that out earlier when I was talking to Dan Duquette, where the Orioles are still open to talking to Casey Close. They have a really good relationship in the past. They go way back. So I think they could still sit down and talk. I just don't think, first of all, the Orioles are going to end up paying what it's going to take, making that commitment to get Dexter Fowler. He's not a 333 guy anymore. Isn't there talk about like 460, somewhere in that range for him? I don't think the Orioles would go there, but he would be the perfect guy for right field. In every sense, he would be a much better fit than anybody else. But I think somebody else is going to end up getting him and putting him in center field, which is where he wants to play. The Cardinals, there's a lot of talk. There's talk the Cubs might still be in the running, which is ridiculous because then they would have basically a full outfield and another full outfield on their bench. They don't need Dexter Fowler. But I think he ends up playing center field somewhere instead of right field in Baltimore.
A couple other quick things, catcher-wise, of course, Wellington Castillo. He's on the radar. The Orioles may be talking to him. This is a guy who the pitch framing metrics didn't grade out great, but defensively in other areas he's sound. He was one of the best in caught stealing in the National League last year, 37.5%. And a quick take on Mark Trumbo. Dan Duquette told us last night he has made multiple contract offers to Trumbo. I think what's unclear to me is how serious those talks are, one. And two, let's say the Orioles could re-sign Trumbo. How does that all play out with Trumbo, Mancini, and Chris Davis?
Right. Well, they're not moving Chris Davis off first base from what we're hearing. I think Trumbo would be the primary designated hitter because, again, they want to upgrade the defense in right field. So there's certainly a spot for Trumbo, DH. And I think Mancini still makes his club, even if he's a bench guy, because they don't feel like that's going to stun his development, and they don't feel like he has anything else to prove in the minors. I mean, they don't. As Buck said, there's no 4A. So at this point, you go from AAA to the majors. Now, if he isn't at least a platoon at DH, I might question that decision a little bit. Otherwise, they want to go ahead and take a look at him, even if he is a big bat coming off the bench. Trumbo, you're right. Like, we know now multiple offers, but we don't know if those were the starting point offers or if that's legit, hey, we're all in on this guy or not. Right. We're trying to find that out. But there's definite interest in retaining him, and I reported that from the very beginning. Ownership would like him back. That would be the one guy I think where they would go big multi-year deal. Otherwise, we're told there are not going to be any splashy kind of moves. They want to bring Mark Trumbo back. We're just not sure what his market is right now because the Orioles don't know. We know the Rockies are interested playing him at first base, but the Orioles don't know at this point. Yeah. How many teams are out there, what they're willing to give? Is the DH market drying up a little bit with some of the teams that have already filled needs, Beltran, Holiday, whatever? We don't know. The Orioles are also still trying to determine his market.
Thank goodness there's plenty to talk about because we're going to be doing it over the next 3 or 4 days here with a lot of videos here from the winter meetings and our blog. So check it all out here at MASNsports.com.
I got to check my phone.